One of the really interesting things about coming to Kindrogan, it's not just a kind of space or a place to take students to think, but it's also an interesting place to think with. We're taking students out of their own, if you like, natural habitat. Some of them are urbanists, some of them are historical geographers, some of them are health geographers. None of them have an immediate point of connection to a place like this. But it's a place that they can experiment with ideas. It's also a place to ask some really kind of elementary questions that tend to be so obvious we forget to ask, particularly at kind of graduate level. What kind of place is this? What happened here? Those are sorts of questions that are worth revisiting, and they're worth revisiting in, if you like, the situatedness of a particular place. And Kindrogan's good for that.
It's become a sort of a rite of passage for most geography staff to come up here away from the big cities. The students get to meet the staff in a space where the staff have no other distractions, or equally the students have no other distractions, so they're very focused on the work that they're going to do together over the couple of days. Anywhere else, people would have those other distractions. They would be back on the internet, they would be heading off somewhere else to catch up with someone else or going back to their office, and that's the thing you would lose, is that concentration that you get when you're here.
As well as, hoping that you're teaching them a bit, helping them to think critically. When you hear them being excited and that's still that phase of discovery and learning about their topic and what they're doing and how it happens and the debates, it's quite a nice refresher as well.
They can spend a lot of time feeling somewhat isolated. The PhD process is very difficult, and so it's good to get them together in a different environment and explore issues that are common for all PhD students. So today we were talking about the Viva and job interviews. What they go away with is sort of a renewed enthusiasm for their subject, the work that they're doing, a feeling that they're not in this alone, that other students are going through what they're going through.
No matter where anybody ends up in the world, you've attended Kindrogan, formed bonds and friendships, and these are the seeds of networks that could span internationally as people move out of their PhDs and into the working world.
You can become very much in your own bubble as being part of a single university, so knowing that there's such a breadth and diversity across different Scottish universities has been really refreshing and a great way of connecting with people.
Sometimes it's just a case of, two people going to the bar and having a pint and realising they share a similar research interest, and from that springs some sort of more interesting kind of academic partnership.
I'm part-time and I work full-time, so the chance to come away, immerse yourself for a full day rather than trying to snatch a couple of hours here and there. So I really value that. If you're part-time, it can be quite isolating.
These sessions, the workshops that are organised here are very important to sort of contribute to the idea of continuous learning, and that there's always sort of new skills to develop and new things to learn.
No matter what we're researching, I'm doing particularly rural research, but we're still based in a city, and so this gives everyone the opportunity to get out of that, even if just for 2 days, even if we spend most of our time in this house, we're still away from the city.
Part of the thing my book talks about at length is the importance of seeing that the world is full of minds that are not like your own. And some of those minds are animals, and some of those minds are the people who would have created a place like this, and some of those minds are the kinds of people that the students themselves are working on in urban places. Coming somewhere like this does raise questions and a sort of space of debate for those kinds of things to be thrashed out.
There was a spell when Kindrogan was apparently an old country hotel back in the 1940s, I think. 1950s maybe, and you can imagine it being a place people come to get away from it all. A place where you have sustained opportunities just to talk and to think and to exchange ideas without the ordinary kind of distractions or perhaps comforts that we might have in our own home universities and cities. And without the funding we have from the Scottish Graduate School, that couldn't happen, and it's an essential part of building human geography in Scotland.